Morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Sean. I got a story for you all. This is the start of Jack of all trades, master of... We'll see. Master of what? So, interesting scenario, really. It's crazy times right now. So, a little bit of background on myself. I'm a musician by passion. IT worker by trade, sys admin, network admin, that kind of stuff. I do a lot of handyman stuff around the house. So, like, the thing is, guys, is the jack of all trades thing that holds true for me. I'm thrown into a ton of different scenarios, and I just have to try to make it work and figure it out, right? So this video blog isn't going to be on one specific theme. It's going to be on many themes. It's going to be on many things that we do. Now, you might be wondering here, Sean, what the hell are you doing? You're driving and you're talking to your phone and doing this video blog. Well, a lot of that comes down to time, ladies and gentlemen. So the fact of the matter is, I don't have a lot of time. I got 2 little kids. I got a job that requires many hours of work throughout the day. I got a wife that sometimes we like to spend some time together. So in order to get this out to you guys and tell you a little bit of my story and hopefully have you guys gain a little bit of knowledge and who knows, maybe even get a laugh while you're at it. Who knows? Hopefully it's entertaining. I hope it's entertaining. I'm gonna put this blog together for you guys. So let me tell you where we're at right now. So the point of the matter is that I'm gonna talk about a lot of different things. I'm gonna do a lot of different things. I'm gonna play some music for you guys sometimes. I hope that'll be great, and that'll be fun. But most importantly, I just reality TV is where it's at, isn't it? Right? So let's be real with each other. So the reality of the matter is that my wife and I and my family, we've just gone and done something crazy. It's crazy good, but it's crazy nonetheless. So with this ridiculous housing market that we're in Ontario and Canada, or at least we have been for the last little while, my wife and I thought it was a great time to sell our house because we can capitalize, right? We can capitalize and hopefully get the most that we're going to see for this house for some time to come. So on the next episode, I'm going to take you on a tour of the house and what we've done to the house. All of which has been, for the most part, work done by myself. Some of it we've contracted out. We'll talk about that and where you can hopefully save some dollars by doing it yourself, DIY, where maybe you shouldn't do DIY, because I can point some of those out too. But bottom line is we cashed out, right? And we did really well for ourselves. And I think we did it just at the nick of time. We're starting to see a bit of a turn in the market now. Buyers are getting more cautious. We're not seeing these giant bidding wars that have gone on. In fact, we didn't even get the same giant bidding wars that some other people that we know have sold did get. But that's okay. We still came out ahead. We basically doubled our money in the matter of 6 years. And now, what do we want to do? We want to build. We want to build our own house, custom build, and it's just one of those scenarios where right now I think that makes sense. The market's way too high to get into something else. It's going to cost us a fortune, and we got 2 kids. We got daycare expenses. Now let's talk about that for a minute, folks. Daycare in this country, and especially this province, is out of this world. It's outrageous expensive. I can't believe how much it costs. It was going to cost us $500 a week to have both of our little boys at daycare. And you know what? Neither one of us can really afford to work and put that kind of money out. So what did we do? We were very lucky. My mother-in-law and my in-laws were wonderful people. when we had our first child, they agreed to come to Hamilton, and we bought a house for them because they've been property managers for a long time, living in apartment buildings and taking care of them, and they wanted to get out of that racket. So we bought ourselves a house for them to live in, and they take care of the kids, right? Unfortunately, my father-in-law is no longer with us, but my mother-in-law, bless her soul, she's still, doing well and loves taking care of my boys. And so that house is ours, and it's cheaper than daycare. What makes sense to me, right? So, tip number one from Jack of all trades, folks, is financial tip 101. If you can capitalize on it, if you can make it work somehow and find a new way to deal with daycare, do it. It costs way too much money, guys. When we were debating on the two of them, and my mother-in-law was still holding a job and she wasn't sure if she was going to come back, we looked into it, and you know what? One of us probably would have had to have stopped working in order to actually make it work. So I don't think that would have worked out at all for us. So luckily we were still in the same situation. So where are we now? We just sold our house. We got about 2 months to figure out where we're going to go and what we're going to do. In order to do this build, it's not going to be done in 2 months. There's no way. And unless the market takes a complete dive turnaround in pricing, we're not going to get into another home that we can carry on our own. So we got to do the build, because the idea with the build is, we're going to bring daycare to us. We're going to throw a nice in-law apartment in there, and away we go. So for the next while, that's going to be a lot of what this show is going to be about. It's going to be the struggles. It's going to be the challenges. It's going to be the exciting, happy times about this process of building a home and dealing with life in and around that, right? So, I'm going to make sure that we highlight a lot of different things, and there will be this big focus on some aspects of real estate and some of the aspects of the budgeting and financing and project management end. And then in between all of that, because I'm going to try to keep up with you guys regularly, I'm just going to have tidbits from life, whether it's technical related stuff and reviews, because you know what, I'm dealing with new tech and reviewing tech for work every day, or it's music related. On that note, you can check out, I've got a podcast running. It's called A Modern, Mostly Biased Musicology. So please check that out on SoundCloud or iTunes. You can also soon hopefully check it out on Google Play. So check out the podcast, Modern Mostly Biased Musicology. We'll be talking exclusively about music there. Keep watching Jack of all trades, master of... We'll figure out some kind of mastery each episode. In this particular episode, I don't know if there is any kind of mastery of anything other than introducing myself to you guys. And you know what? Feel free. Make sure you throw in some comments. Make sure that you keep in touch. Ask questions. Whatever you might feel comfortable with. I'd love to hear from you guys. I'd love to get back to you guys. Recommendation. Hands-free driving, folks. Right? This is hands-free driving. I am not actually touching the phone, so don't do this at home, kids. As far as trying to figure out how to work all of this stuff, but. Make sure if you are doing anything of this nature, make sure it is hands-free. They got a blitz on right now in our city to make sure that people are, keeping hands-free driving. I'm keeping hands-free driving. My hands are on the wheels, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm paying attention to the road. You know what? So hopefully this is a really enjoyable experience, and I'm doing this mainly so that we have a little bit of fun and creativity throughout this process, because I know that this build is weighing on me. It's going to be heavy. It's going to be a challenge, but I'm really excited for it, and I'm really stoked to see what we can do with it over the course of the coming months here. But first and foremost, where do we live? Where do we live? That's what we're going to talk about next on Jack of all trades, master of. Talk to you soon.